institutions, the way the grain sector is currently structured, financing is a key hindrance to development, financing for both working capital and capital expenditure. And the current financing products that we have in the market have been very, very highly priced. That is why at the Grain Council, we have spent the last 4 to 5 months before the budget, the current budget that was read in June, negotiating with various arms of government, ministries, and various entities to make sure that in the budget that was read, we get products and financing which is lower priced. Fortunately, when the budget was being read, we were informed that a fund has been put in Uganda Development Bank where financing for agriculture and agro-processing could be accessed at rates that are lower than we have been getting. We are still fighting because if you compare our average financing costs here, even for agriculture and agro-processing, they are actually higher than they are in other economies like Kenya, like Tanzania. And to be competitive and to take advantage of the regional market, we ought to be borrowing at rates probably 8, not more than 8%, to enable our competitive edge to be properly enjoyed. Yes. There ought to be a general increased friendliness of financial institutions towards lending to agro-processing and agriculture as a whole. That friendliness is very muted. You find that most banks and other financial institutions actually are averse to lending to agriculture. That is one of the reasons for which we said probably a bigger fund in the hands of a bank with a development agenda like UDB would suit agriculture and agro-processing in Uganda better in as far as financing is concerned. The other thing is the cost, of course, because if you are competing in the sector with somebody who's borrowing at 4% and you're borrowing at 10%, then you are right from the outset at a disadvantage. So one, increased friendliness of financial institutions towards lending to agro-processing and agriculture, and secondly, making sure that the costs of that lending is competitive, is affordable. What has got to be done really is further development of the sector in as far as grain processing and handling infrastructure is concerned. The more capacity we have to buy and process grain as quickly as possible off the farmers, where it can come to off-takers like us members in the Grain Council and properly stabilized for long-term storage, the better it is for the entire ecosystem. Now we have a situation whereby currently, as I speak, I think we have, at the Grain Council, I think we've documented about 750,000 metric tons of storage capacity, of which only 30% is utilized. And the main hindrance is the fact that the cost of borrowing for working capital is very, very high. Now, when it's very high, and it's very difficult to fill up those, so a lot of grain is left unpurchased because of the fact that a company could have a capacity to borrow, given its balance sheet, a capacity to borrow 2 billion. And 2 billion is an amount of money you could probably use to buy grain for 2 weeks. And the season is 4 months. And for the rest of the time, unless you are able to sell out, you will not be able to do it, to turn that money around. So there's a lot of redundant capacity in spite of the private built grain processing and storage capacities that have been put in place. So that's why financing is a key issue that has got to be addressed.